Hello and welcome. Today, we're going to have a deep and honest conversation about something that forms the very framework of our lives. Yet we often take it for granted until it starts to send us signals of distress. I'm talking about our bones. Think about it for a moment. Every step you take, every time you reach for a grandchild's hand, every morning you rise to greet the day, it is all made possible by the silent, sturdy support of your skeletal system. But as we journey through our senior years, this silent support system can begin to face its greatest challenge. You might have felt it as a new ache in your hips on a damp morning, or perhaps a twinge of fear when navigating a slippery sidewalk. Maybe you've heard a doctor mention words like osteopenia or osteoporosis during a checkup, and a quiet sense of unease settled in. This is a shared experience for millions. The process of bone loss is a natural part of aging, but the extent to which it affects our quality of life, our independence, and our confidence is anything but predetermined. We are not helpless passengers on this journey. We are active participants, and the choices we make, especially at our dinner table, can profoundly influence the strength and resilience of our bones for all the years to come. This isn't going to be a lecture filled with complicated medical jargon. Instead, think of this as a warm conversation, a guide to building your own personal fortress of bone health from the inside out. We will explore the 5 most critical nutrients that act as the master builders, the architects, and the diligent guardians of your skeleton. We won't just name them, we will understand their roles, discover the most delicious and accessible foods that contain them, and learn how they work together in a beautiful symphony to keep you strong, active, and upright. This is your guide to turning your meals into a powerful tool for building a stronger tomorrow, one bite at a time. Let's begin with the nutrient that is most famously associated with bones, the one we've all heard about since we were children. Our first essential nutrient is calcium. Think of calcium as the primary building block, the very bricks and mortar of your bone structure. Roughly 99% of all the calcium in your body is stored in your bones and teeth, which gives you a clear idea of its importance. It provides the rigidity and strength that allows your skeleton to support your body's weight and protect your vital organs. But the story is more complex than just having enough bricks. Your body is in a constant state of remodeling your bones. Specialized cells are continuously breaking down old, worn-out bone tissue while other cells are busy building new, strong tissue. For this process to work in your favor, you need a steady supply of calcium from your diet. If you don't consume enough, your body, needing calcium for other critical functions like muscle contraction and nerve signaling, will start to borrow it from its main bank account, your bones. Over time, this constant withdrawal weakens the bone structure, making it porous and brittle, leading directly to osteoporosis. So, where do we find these essential building blocks? The most well-known sources, of course, are dairy products. A glass of milk, a container of plain yogurt, or a slice of cheese can provide a significant portion of your daily calcium needs. Yogurt and kefir, being fermented, offer the added benefit of probiotics, which contribute to a healthy gut, and a healthy gut is crucial for absorbing all nutrients, including calcium. But what if you are lactose intolerant, or simply choose not to consume dairy? Nature has provided an abundance of alternatives. Dark, leafy greens are a fantastic source. Think of kale, collard greens, bok choy, and spinach. A little tip for greens like spinach, which contain compounds called oxalates that can hinder calcium absorption, is to lightly steam or cook them. This simple act can reduce the oxalate content and make the calcium more available to your body. Another unsung hero of the calcium world is canned fish with bones, like sardines and salmon. The bones are so soft you don't even notice them, but they are packed with a highly absorbable form of calcium. A single serving of sardines can rival a glass of milk in calcium content, while also providing heart-healthy omega-3 fatty acids. Seeds are also tiny powerhouses. Sesame seeds, chia seeds, and poppy seeds are all rich in calcium. You can sprinkle them on your oatmeal, blend them into a smoothie, or use tahini, a paste made from sesame seeds, as a base for dressings and sauces. Lastly, many foods are now fortified with calcium, from orange juice and plant-based milks like almond or soy milk, to breakfast cereals and tofu. Just be sure to check the label to see how much has been added. The goal is to weave these foods into your daily meals consistently, ensuring your bone-building cells always have the raw materials they need. Now, having all the bricks in the world is useless if you don't have a construction manager to tell them where to go. This brings us to our second, and arguably equally important nutrient: vitamin D. If calcium is the brick, vitamin D is the foreman on the job site. Its primary role in bone health is to facilitate the absorption of calcium from your gut into your bloodstream. Without sufficient vitamin D, you could be consuming all the calcium you need, but most of it will pass right through your system, unutilized. It's the gatekeeper that unlocks the door, allowing calcium to enter your body and get to work. Furthermore, vitamin D also plays a role in regulating the levels of calcium and phosphate in the blood, two minerals that are crucial for bone mineralization, the very process that makes bones hard and strong. The most natural and potent way our bodies produce vitamin D is through direct exposure to sunlight. When ultraviolet rays from the sun hit our skin, it triggers a chemical reaction that synthesizes vitamin D. However, for seniors, this process becomes less efficient. Our skin's ability to produce vitamin D decreases with age. Additionally, many older adults spend more time indoors, and factors like geographical location, season, and sunscreen use can all limit sun exposure. This is why dietary sources and supplementation become critically important. Unfortunately, very few foods are naturally rich in vitamin D. The absolute best sources are fatty fish. Think of salmon, mackerel, herring, and trout. These fish not only provide vitamin D, but also those beneficial omega-3 fatty acids we mentioned earlier. Beyond fatty fish, some foods are fortified with vitamin D. Milk, whether dairy or plant-based, is often fortified, as are many breakfast cereals, orange juice, and yogurt. Egg yolks contain a small amount, as do some types of mushrooms that have been exposed to UV light. You'll see this specified on the packaging. However, for the vast majority of seniors, it is very difficult to get enough vitamin D from food and sunlight alone. This is why supplementation is often recommended by doctors. It's crucial to get your vitamin D levels checked with a simple blood test. Your doctor can then recommend the appropriate dosage of a vitamin D3 supplement, which is the most effective form, to ensure your body can properly absorb and use the calcium you are so carefully consuming. Without this sunny foreman, your bone-building project can quickly grind to a halt. Let's move on to our third nutrient, one that is often overlooked but is absolutely essential for the entire bone-building operation. We'll call it the master mineral, magnesium. If calcium is the bricks and vitamin D is the foreman, magnesium is the multi-talented tradesman who makes sure all the machinery is working correctly. Its role is multifaceted and critical. First, magnesium is required for the proper utilization of both calcium and vitamin D. It helps to convert vitamin D into its active form, the form that can actually do the job of absorbing calcium. So, even if you have enough vitamin D, a magnesium deficiency can prevent it from working properly. It's like having a foreman on site, but his tools are missing. Second, magnesium stimulates a hormone called calcitonin, which helps to draw calcium out of the blood and soft tissues and put it back into the bones, preserving your bone structure. At the same time, it helps to suppress a hormone that breaks down bone. It is a true regulator, ensuring that calcium ends up where it belongs. Despite its importance, a large percentage of the population, especially older adults, do not get enough magnesium. Modern food processing can strip magnesium from grains, and soil depletion can mean that even fresh vegetables have lower levels than they did in the past. So, we need to be very intentional about including magnesium-rich foods in our diet. The good news is that these foods are delicious and versatile. Nuts and seeds are at the top of the list. Almonds, cashews, and pumpkin seeds are particularly potent sources. A small handful a day as a snack can significantly boost your intake. Legumes are another fantastic source, including black beans, lentils, and chickpeas. They are not only rich in magnesium, but also provide protein and fiber. Whole grains that have not been refined, such as oats, quinoa, and brown rice, are also excellent choices. And for a treat, high-quality dark chocolate, with a cocoa content of 70% or more, is surprisingly rich in magnesium. Let's not forget about avocados, which are packed with this mineral along with healthy fats, and dark leafy greens like spinach, which do double duty by providing both calcium and magnesium. It's easy to see a pattern emerging here. Many of the foods that are good for one aspect of bone health are good for others as well. Nature has packaged these nutrients together for a reason. By focusing on a diet rich in these whole foods, you are ensuring that all the members of your bone-building team are present and ready to work in harmony. Our fourth nutrient is a vitamin that acts like a highly intelligent traffic controller for calcium. I'm talking about vitamin K. Specifically, we will focus on its most important form for bone health, vitamin K2. For many years, we thought vitamin K was only important for blood clotting. But recent research has revealed its starring role in directing calcium within the body. You see, once vitamin D gets the calcium into your bloodstream, vitamin K2 takes over. It activates a protein called osteocalcin, which is responsible for binding calcium to the bone matrix. Think of it this way. Osteocalcin is like the glue that sticks the calcium bricks onto your bone structure. Without enough vitamin K2 to activate it, the glue doesn't work, and the calcium bricks are left floating around, unable to contribute to bone strength. But the role of vitamin K2 is even more brilliant than that. It also activates another protein that prevents calcium from being deposited in the wrong places, like your arteries and soft tissues. This is incredibly important. Calcium deposits in arteries lead to stiffening and can contribute to heart disease. So, vitamin K2 not only ensures that your bones get the calcium they need, but it also actively protects your cardiovascular system from the potential harm of misplaced calcium. It is the ultimate traffic cop, directing calcium to the construction site of the skeleton and keeping it away from areas where it could cause a traffic jam. So where do we find this vital traffic controller? Vitamin K1 is found abundantly in leafy green vegetables like kale, spinach, and broccoli. Your body can convert a small amount of K1 into K2, but the process is not very efficient. The best dietary sources of preformed vitamin K2 come from fermented foods and certain animal products. One of the richest sources on the planet is a traditional Japanese dish called natto, made from fermented soybeans. It has a very strong taste and texture that might not be for everyone, but its K2 content is off the charts. Other fermented foods like certain hard cheeses such as Gouda and Brie and sauerkraut also contain K2. For animal sources, look for grass-fed butter, egg yolks, and liver. The grass-fed part is important, as the animals convert the K1 from the grass they eat into K2, which is then stored in their fatty tissues. It's a nutrient that highlights the intricate connection between diet, gut health, and our overall skeletal and cardiovascular well-being. Finally, we arrive at our fifth key nutrient. And it's not a vitamin or a mineral, but a macronutrient that forms the very foundation upon which our bones are built. We're talking about protein. If calcium, magnesium, and other minerals are the hard materials, protein is the flexible steel scaffolding that holds everything together. About 50% of our bone volume is actually made of protein, primarily in the form of collagen. This collagen matrix provides a framework for the minerals to adhere to. It gives our bones a degree of flexibility and resilience, helping them to absorb impact without fracturing. Without a strong protein framework, bones would be as brittle as chalk. For a long time, there was a misconception that a high-protein diet could be bad for bones, with the theory that it could leach calcium from the skeleton. However, extensive modern research has debunked this myth. The evidence now strongly supports the opposite. Adequate protein intake is absolutely essential for bone health, especially for seniors. As we age, we are at risk of losing muscle mass, a condition known as sarcopenia. Strong muscles are vital for supporting our joints and maintaining our balance, which directly reduces the risk of falls, a leading cause of fractures in older adults. A diet rich in protein helps to preserve this muscle mass. Furthermore, protein is crucial for recovery. If a fracture does occur, your body needs ample protein to heal the bone and surrounding tissues. Ensuring you get enough protein throughout the day is key. It's best to distribute your intake across all your meals rather than having one large protein-heavy meal. Excellent sources include lean meats like chicken and turkey, a variety of fish and eggs. Dairy products like Greek yogurt and cottage cheese are also protein powerhouses that deliver a bonus of calcium. But you don't need to rely solely on animal products. Plant-based proteins are wonderful for bone health. Lentils, beans, tofu, and edamame are all fantastic options that also provide fiber and other essential nutrients. Nuts, seeds, and whole grains also contribute to your daily protein intake. The goal is to build a strong, flexible collagen framework so that the minerals we've discussed have a sturdy structure to bind to, creating bones that are both dense and resilient. So now we see the whole picture. It's not about focusing on one nutrient alone. Bone health is a team sport. It's a beautiful, intricate dance of nutrients working in perfect synergy. Calcium provides the bricks, but it needs vitamin D to even get inside the door. Magnesium helps to activate that vitamin D and ensures the machinery runs smoothly. Vitamin K2 then acts as the traffic controller, directing the calcium to embed itself into the bone. And all of this happens upon the flexible, resilient scaffolding built by protein. When you see it this way, creating a bone-healthy diet becomes less of a chore and more of a fascinating project in building your own internal architecture. To bring this all together, what would a day of eating for strong bones look like? It doesn't have to be complicated. For breakfast, you might have oatmeal made with milk or fortified almond milk, topped with chia seeds and a handful of almonds. For lunch, a large salad with plenty of dark leafy greens, chickpeas, and a piece of grilled salmon. For a snack, a container of Greek yogurt or an apple with a tablespoon of sesame seed butter. And for dinner, perhaps a lentil soup or a modest portion of chicken with a side of steamed broccoli and quinoa. You can see how easily and deliciously these 5 key nutrients can be woven into a daily eating pattern. Remember, this journey is not about radical diets or deprivation. It's about mindful additions, about crowding your plate with vibrant, whole foods that nature has designed to nourish and support you. And of course, these dietary strategies work best when combined with a lifestyle that supports bone health. This includes regular weight-bearing exercise, like walking, dancing, or light strength training, which sends signals to your bones to stay strong and dense. It also includes practices like ensuring good balance to prevent falls and avoiding habits like smoking and excessive alcohol consumption, which can be detrimental to bone health. Before making any significant changes to your diet or starting any new supplements, especially vitamin D, it is always wisest to have a conversation with your doctor or a registered dietitian. They can provide personalized advice based on your individual health needs and history. This knowledge is your power. The power to understand that the creaks and groans of aging are not an inevitable sentence, but a call to action. It's a call to nourish the very foundation of your body with care and intention. Every meal is an opportunity to rebuild, to reinforce, and to reclaim your strength. Your bones have supported you for a lifetime. Now is the perfect time to give them the support they need right back. Thank you for joining me today on this journey to building a stronger, more resilient you.